Hi everyone, in the last chapter of my book I get super practical about how to live like Jesus, and in this session I just want to unpack for us how we might get words of knowledge for healing when God wants to break in and heal someone's body. There are 6 different ways that I know of that he might want to try and get our attention and speak to us about what he wants to do. The first way is he might give us a picture in our mind. It's usually pretty vague. What I tend to do is, as I'm practicing, I tend to picture the outline of a skeleton in my mind and then ask God, which part of the body do you want to heal? And then what happens in my mind is I see like a red spot over the particular part of the body, or an arrow pointing to a particular part of the body, and then I just need to work out whether the skeleton in my head is facing forward or backward to work out if it's the right side or the left side of the body. So God gives us pictures. We can also have dreams in the night. You might get a dream of God healing someone through you, or a particular injury, and it might be that is God's way of giving you a word of knowledge for what he wants to do. You might just remember a story that you've heard and you're in a particular setting, and you just remember, I remember that story when someone got healed of a bad ankle, and it's just because God wants to do the same thing again, and so he's reminding you of what he's done before. You might get a moving picture in your mind, so rather than a still picture, it's like a movie is playing out in your mind, and again it shows you what God wants to do. I remember once having a picture of someone having a sliding tackle in football and injuring one of their ankles because of a sliding tackle, and I brought the word of knowledge, and that's exactly what happened. They'd injured their ankle through being tackled badly in a game of football. You might also get some sympathetic pain in your body, so pay attention to what's going on in your own body. You might get a very subtle pain somewhere, and again it's God's way of giving you a word of knowledge as to what he wants to do and where he wants to heal someone. It would be very easy to dismiss the pain, but pay attention to what's going on in your body. Or the last way is words. Either a word flashes into your head, or a thought like a word flashes into your thoughts, or you see a word over someone and it's a word that's showing you what God wants to heal. So you might see depression written over someone, and that's because God wants to do something in their life to bring them freedom. And so those are the different ways that God might get your attention in giving you a word of knowledge, which shows his intention about what he wants to do and the breakthrough he wants to bring. So why don't you this week maybe take an opportunity to ask God to give you a word of knowledge, pay attention to what he shows you. And the thing about this is you can't ever know if you're right unless you share the word of knowledge. And so when you get the word, bring it either in a Sunday, or if you're out on the streets, maybe ask someone a question. Hey, have you got pain in your back? And if they do, and if your word of knowledge is right, you can go ahead and pray and see what God does.